Good morning, my family and friends. This is Joanne, Patron Program. I am known as So Fabulous. I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. And yes, I've got my sewing room all set up. You need very limited things when you're going to create what I'm going to show you today. Very limited. This is just a simple little toolbox here. But I utilize this toolbox as my sewing kit. And a lot of you know that these are sewing kits, but some people use them for toolboxes. I use it as a sewing kit. It has a few sewing supplies. On top of that, I have my June Taylor ironing board / needle craft board. I have a rotary cutter mat that you can purchase anywhere. And I also use an old cutting board that I no longer use anymore. They make really fabulous mats. I have a portable ironing thermal board here. It's just made out of material that I bought some time ago. You're going to need some thread. Doesn't matter what kind of thread. I usually save a lot of the spool threads that I use when I embroider, and then when they get really small, I love to use those for projects. And of course, I have my router cutting, my little, this is what they call a cutting blade. So it has the safety lock on the side right here, that little button. You close it and you see how that pushes it back. I open it and then it closes it up. I open it, the blade comes out, and then it plays that. I also recommend always changing your blade after so many uses. A pair of simple scissors, you can get them at the 99-cent store. They're really inexpensive. But I also have these little mini scissors that I like placing around my neck, because when I need something done, I don't want to fuss and look for my scissors. So I have my thread that I'm going to use, and I want to show you how I'm making this really beautiful, fabulous scrap bowl. You can call it a rag bowl, whatever you want to call it, but I'm making it for placing. You know how you have little odds and ends, and they look really beautiful in the bathroom. You want to put guest towels in it. They make fabulous gifts. Somebody just moved into an apartment or a home or wherever, or even to help somebody, you can put a lot of gifts in here. Make a strap, and it's a beautiful, fabulous basket. If you want to stiffen it, all you have to do is buy fabric stiffener. You can buy it anywhere, and the fabric stiffener will stiffen this up really well that it will stand up. I make several different sizes. You can make one small like this, and even smaller than that for your tortillas. I mean, they're scraps of material that I saved and utilized throughout the years. Let me move my chair over here. And of course, you're going to need a sewing machine. Here is my sewing machine. Simple table. It's a very simple drop table. I purchased this for next to nothing at the thrift store. It cost me $19. But if you go on any of these sites, like where they sell tables like this, they run up to almost $200. I was very fortunate that I bought two of them for $19 each. In here, this box, this is just one of my boxes, but this is the box that when I make quilts and I save little pieces like this, I place them in my box, and I will later turn them into what I call basket strips. And you see I have a whole bunch of them. This is, let's see, the second box that I've already gotten rid of. I have 3 boxes that I have been saving a lot of strips, and I've utilized all those strips for various projects. So I keep this box close by, and as you can see, it's already about, if I press it down, the rags are down to here now, whereas they used to be up to here. Because I love making baskets like this. Like I said, they make them really good to place towels, other sewing supplies that I may have. So they're really, really, I utilize them. So let me put my box next to me because I'm going to be needing them. I also have these that were supposed to be quilts, but when I noticed that I was using this material didn't hold up quite well. For some odd reason, it kept fraying on me, and I'm like, I'm not going to keep putting fabric fray. Maybe it was the material I chose, but I kept it. Here's another satin pillow I used to have, and the satin pillow kept fraying on me. And again, bits and pieces. But I thought to myself, a lot of these are irregular pieces, but I saved them because I can use them for the scrap quilt. And I want you to see how meticulous I am when I save stuff. So, but think about it. These little pieces of material you can use to make some fabulous, fabulous scrap baskets. So I'm going to put that right on top of my box so I can have it right close to me. And then the second, like I said, you'll need a sewing machine with thread, a needle. I use the, I think it's called the 11. Let me take a look here. Just double check. It's a titanium universal needle, and it's a 9014, so that works really good. And I always keep a lot of needles close by because I might break them. Let's see. This is a thread extender right here, and you place it on top of your bobbin holder here. Then you can place your thread right on top of it. Because when I place it on top of here, it kind of bounces all over the place. I keep a screwdriver. I keep a tweezers in case I need it. And I also keep a lot of bobbins close by because I always need to refill bobbins, because with a project like this, you're always going to have to refill your bobbins. So again, simple setup, an iron, a simple iron. I paid $9 for this at the CVS, and it's lasted for 7 years. And just tap water. I don't get anything fancy. I don't buy any fancy cleaners. And just keep your plate clean. I mean, with a little sandpaper or some kind of scrubbing pad, you can keep it looking nice all the time. Even aluminum foil. Get some aluminum foil and just rub it, and it'll take all that scum off, because I use a lot of starch, like I said. So, and then I save my water bottles, and I have tap water. What I do with my tap water is I get a pot, just a regular pot, you know, the pot like you make whatever to heat up soups or whatever, just a small little pot, and I boil my water really, really good. And then I let it cool down. After I cool it down, I place it in these empty containers, and I have nice sanitized water. So let's get started with this very simple project. And you can be on your way making your family or somebody a gift, a basket gift. I call it my rag basket. You can call it a strip basket, but whatever it is, it's just simple to make. And you don't have to have a fancy smancy sewing machine. I have an antique 1900-year-old threadle sewing machine that doesn't use any power whatsoever. I just use my feet. So whatever type of sewing machine, you can buy sewing machines so inexpensive. Here's my kitty. She knows I'm talking to you. So she's already going into her basket. Look at her. Let her go in there. I make these baskets for her too, and I place them around the house. She can just jump in there and do whatever she wants, and I'll show you right now. You jumping. You jumping in the basket. She already went in the basket. She's my little baby. You mommy little baby, huh? Mommy. She woke me last night. I was on the sewing machine all night till 10 o'clock, and she jumped on my lap, sat right on top of the sewing machine, and put her little feet on the presser foot and on my hands, telling me, it's time for you to stop, Mommy. You need to stop and take a break. So she sees these baskets that are meant specifically for her. This is Tilly. Say hello, Tilly. Hey, Tilly. My beautiful little Tilly. She's Mama's little baby. She's my Mother's Day gift for my daughter. She brought her on my birthday in October for me. Oh, my dog Domino left this world, and I was so heartbroken, and I wanted a pet, and she surprised me with. We went to the SPCA and rescued her. She was so tiny, and look at you now. Mommy feeds you so good. Mommy feeds you so good. Okay, let me get. Oh, she loves Mommy. You love Mommy. You love Mommy. You love being on the camera too. Yes, you do. I know you do. Let me get my scissors out the way. I definitely don't want you to get poked. It's Mommy's little girl. You're Mommy's little girl. You're Mommy's little girl. Okay, Tilly, let Mommy finish up her little project, okay? That girl. And they're really easy to launder. Simple, simple, simple. Just throw it in the wash machine. It's not heavy because it's just sheet material. It's pillowcases and sheets and blouses like this one. Like I buy blouses, and after a while, after I wear them so long, I don't use them anymore. And then I just tear them up and I make them out of rags or use them in my, or use them in my projects. Okay, sweetie, get down. Atta girl. Thank you. Okay, so let me, I'm choking here. Let's get to it. Let's take a look. Let me change the lighting in here. No, that's the zoom. Let's take a look here. Alrighty. Let me take the lighting down just a little bit. Okay. Now, to make it simple, I'm going to use, let's bring my sewing machine right here. And I'm going to move my basket out of the way to right now. I've already got my sewing machine all threaded up. Let's see. There we go. Oh, this thing is heavy. Okay, so I have my, let's see, I think it's still a little too bright. There we go. I think you can see that a little better. You can see the light from the sewing machine. So I'm going to zoom this up just a wee bit, just a little bit, so you can see what I'm going to do. Instead of bringing my other table, which you can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to bring my little cutting board and my cutter here, and I'm just going to get a few of these, and I'm going to show you really quickly how to do this, so you can do this too. Now, this is the size that I'm using. Really simple size. It's actually only, let's see, about 2.5 inches wide, and they sell strips like this at any craft store, so you can always find strips like this at any craft store. Okay, I'm gonna slide my chair over. Ouch! Just a little bit. I want to get my, see, a good view. Okay, so 2.5 inches works really good because all you're going to do is fold it and sew it. So I'm going to get, and I dropped a lot of pieces already. Okay, and what I like about these squares that I didn't use for the blanket that I was supposed to make. I made them 4 inches in width. So even at 2 inches, they still work. So I'm going to get about, let's see, 4 of these, because they're 4 inches wide. So 2.5, 4 inches. Make it easy on yourself. And then I'm going to get a few of these other ones. Okay, there's 4. Actually, they're 4.5 inches wide. That's good because I used, yeah, they're 4.5 inches wide. Okay, and now I'm just going to cut them in half. Oh. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So you've got to take 1, 2.5, which is right there. Okay, so that's cut in half. I'm going to take several of these. These are 5.5 inches wide, or 5. So this is going to be a little easier. I'll take a couple of these. And then all I'm going to do is cut it right in half. Okay. So I've got my strips that I'm going to use. Let's get some other colors here. There's about 4 of these. And then I'm just going to cut it in half. They're not perfect now. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for easy to use. My hand isn't always that strong. Okay, bam. There we go. So I've got a few of these to utilize. So I'm going to take these little pieces and place them on the side. I locked my rotary cutter. So what I do is I just take one of these pieces. I set them right on the side of me, so if you're wondering where they're at. And you see that? And I'm going to just keep adding on and adding on. So I'm going to put them on my little sewing table over here. I've got a presser foot that is like a, what they call a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance presser foot, and it's the kind that you have to screw in, so I can't take it off and show you. So I'm going to line them up, and look at that. Since these are 5 inches wide, they match up perfectly. So if you use a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance foot, you don't have to worry about measuring how your seam looks. Luckily, I have a automatic threader, cutter, a threader and a cutter. So these pieces didn't make the cut because they're made out of polyester. I thought if I bought this sheet, it was going to work for a quilt, but it didn't work. But it's going to work for this beautiful little basket that I'm making. You're probably wondering what happened. She's still talking. So I'm going to find some other beautiful colors, because I have a box full of them. And I don't want it to be perfect. That's the whole thing, is you don't want perfection. We're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for just to utilize and recycle all this material that you might be having around the house. A lot of scrappers, we figure out a lot of ways to utilize all our scraps. I've seen people be so creative that they take their scraps and even make little tiny placemats, and, or purses or whatever, you know. It's just have fun. I do want these to match up right. Okay, got it. So again, this is 5 inches in width. And I have a line, you can't see it, but I have a line on my cutting board. And I like small cutting boards for this reason. I have a line already lined out, so I already know where that middle is at. Now I have some more colors to add, and I'm going to keep placing that on my board that I have over here. Remember, I have a board over here. So I'm going to put those away. I've already selected those. I like this one that I never got to really use in anything. Here's 4 of them. And I have a die cutter. A die cutter is a little machine that I have that automatically cuts these for me. I have to crank it up, but it cuts it for me in precise precision. So there's another set of colors. Let me see what else I have in here. But I haven't used any of these. But now I know because I saved them. And I have boxes and boxes of these kind of strips and colors that I use from like pillowcases, blouses, skirts. Sometimes going to the thrift store, you can find some beautiful sheets. Just make sure you launder them, get them all cleaned up before you utilize them for anything. Okay. So I've got my place here. I know where my middle is. And I'm going to follow my line. Okay. Then again, I'm lining them up on my table over here. Okay. I'm going to need, I'm looking for solids. And I know I have a bunch of this material everywhere. Here's one I can use. I'm just going to cut off this piece here. Here's the ones that I just flip that over there. Now here's some white that was cut oddly, and it was too flimsy to be in a quilt, so I didn't use it. I cut a lot of it, but I didn't get a chance to use it. So I'm going to line that up in the middle, like that. Okay. Line that up in the middle again. And I'm going to save these strips for another project. So I've got some really bright white. Okay. Some more of that white. Save those strips. Save whatever you can. Save the planet. Okay, so now we've got a whole bunch to play with. So all I do is lay that on top. Again, I'm not matching colors, but I am trying my best to get solid and then print. And I'm not worried about the colored thread I'm using either. You probably say, oh, what color thread are you using? I'm not worried about that. Since you have everything all lined up, you can just pull any colors out. And what I love about some prints, turn them around. Sometimes the color in the back is just as pretty as the color in the front. And that's what I did with this one. I just turned it around. And I'm just going to keep sewing. Sewing. Look at some solid color here. Mix them up. Have fun. Threads all over them. I have like lots of static electricity on me today. And then I'm going to use some glue and just mix all these beautiful colors up. And again, some of this material frays, and that's why I didn't use it for the quilts. Okay. And let's see what's good. Tray over here, but that's okay. I'm going to stop right there because I just want to show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so it's this big. Okay, it's pretty big right now. Then you go back and forth, slam this one, then I cut and get a needle knife. Nicely use this. Again, turn the material around, you get a whole different effect. So I turn this print around so I get a lighter color in the back of this beige. And I'm not going to iron it. No, I'm not. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it, fold one half in, then take the other part, and fold that over like this. Once it's folded, the halves are folded, I'm going to fold it again. Kind of like making a binding. There we go. Give it some strength. And if you don't want to do this and you just want to fold it in half and just get to it, hey, do it. But I noticed that I needed to have some strength in at this point in my basket. Okay. Make sure you have a good brand new needle in your sewing machine too. And like I said, the 90-14 works really good for this, because it'll pierce through all those layers. It's the one I use for a lot of quilts. Okay. I'm going to keep folding it in, fold it in again, and then fold it again. These make really good straps. The presser foot I have is called a wide open toe foot, and it has a groove underneath, so it's when I fold it, that material goes underneath and it's just perfect. Okay. And then I take where I sewed it, the seam allowance, and I just fold it in. This gives it some, like a stabilizer. You're stabilizing the material, making it really strong and durable. I'm going to go all the way down. That's why I made this video short. I didn't want to make it too long. Okay, and I'm folding it in, fold it again, and then fold that in half. notice I'm not going supersonic speed. You do want this to be as nice as possible. Take that seam, fold it down towards you, fold it in, fold it in. They use the same type of binding when you make an apron. Fold it in. And always have music when you're sewing or doing any kind of project. I believe music is good for our soul. I'm going to leave about 1 inch opening there. Okay. I make these really long, by the way. Okay, now I'm going to get my basket. I'm going to find where I left off yesterday. Remember that opening I didn't sew? I'm going to take this and insert it. Let's see where we at. Let's flip it upside down. There we go. I'm going to insert that binding right in there like that. Now you can use a pin if you want, a little pin to hold that down. It's totally up to you. But for this training purpose, I'm going to sew it down really quick. Normally I just sew it on the inside of the basket, but I want to sew it just to show you. Now the ones I did yesterday, I just folded them. I didn't do the fold like I showed you here. But since I have it here, I want to show you how you should be able to fold it and make it more stable. Now I'm going to take my sewing machine and get a good zigzag. I'm going to lengthen that zigzag to 7.0, and that's the width, and the stitch is going to be 1.3. The tension is at, this is the tension, is at number 4. Making sure my bobbin's got a lot of thread. I'm ready to go. And you see how once it starts getting big, you can kind of fold it down, but you can see what I'm doing. Let me get my, let's see if I can zoom that up a little bit more. Okay, so I've got the binding here. See my hand is moving? That's the binding of what I just made. And all I'm doing is laying on top about 1/2 inch above the original seam that I sewed. Here's the zigzag, and I'm just laying it on top of those 2 pieces, because when you want to see it, you want to encase these other bindings together. You don't want to go way at the edge. No, you want to go next to the seam. Here's the zigzag that I have here, and I'm about 1/4 of an inch away from that seam. And it goes really fast. So I have a speed regulator. I've even got corduroy in this. And that went right through that needle pierced that corduroy and all these thick pieces. thin, very thin jean, not thick jean, but some thin jean. Since I folded it now, I'm getting more stabilized. These other pieces were not folded in, which I didn't mind. I just wanted to utilize every small strip that I had. And because I have a 1/4 of an inch open-toed presser foot, each side, it's right in the middle, it's open, so I can see where my stitch is at. I wouldn't recommend using a walking foot because as this gets bigger and wider, you don't want to damage an expensive foot like that. So this open-toed, it's called open-toed presser foot, works perfectly for this. And the groove inside, which is a groove, when your material is going under the presser foot, there's a groove, like a curve. So when your material glides through, it makes it easy for that binding to go right under that groove. And I want you to see how fast this goes. And it does get bigger, the basket, depending on how big you want it, really. I love the way the colors just blend in with all those other colors. Okay, my binding is getting smaller, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Starch works really good too for this. Almost at the end. I can imagine what you can do also is if you want to sew all your strips together and make them just one by one as long as you want, and you just sew them strip by strip by strip like a triangle or a square, you can have a really nice square hallway rug, bathroom rug. Make it for your picture. Make a big giant one like that. Hang it up on your wall. Make it a showpiece. Put binding all around. You can make one heck of a strong quilt out of this. A jacket. Okay, I'm coming towards the end. And I leave about 3 inches. I leave 3 inches. Now I want you to see why you get really close to the edge. You see how the previous seam overlaps the other seam? And why you don't go really close to the edge? Because when you keep going around and around, you're going to be sewing every other one close together and getting that thicker binding. Now it's holding up really good. And I want you to see how beautiful these colors blend in and how that creates a beautiful basket. They make really beautiful baskets for gifts. Again, you can do all kinds of stuff with a basket like this for your pet. Make it something like this for your pet, and they'll hide in there and they'll have their own little, because they love to curl in little things like this. Oh, I just love it. And the bottom piece was just a round piece of material I had. These were leftover pieces. I sewed them together. I put what they call batting inside, the kind you use for when you make blankets or pillows. Put some stuffing and batting in it. Get some old material, some fleece, some old blankets that you have that are made out of fleece, and you could use the fleece from a blanket, a wool blanket, that could be the inside of it, and it keeps it nice. And I got it on the inside too. You can see the inside. And I just made a circle. Get a plate to use as your guideline, a pot, a big old pot lid, and use the rim of the pot to make the circle. But look at that. It is so beautiful. And that's what I'm going to do. Again, these are all just bits and pieces of material that I saved, that I just all sewed together. And I made this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm making this beautiful, beautiful. And I give these away, by the way. When people come visit me, like my lady sewing group, which we haven't had in a long time because of the corona quarantine, they've come and visit me and they look at my baskets. I'm like, wow, how beautiful. How did you do that? And I tell them how. And I say, well, when you go to my class, you'll see me make these. And I've given away at least 30 of them. I've given away 30 of them to various people in my family, my daughter, and my neighbors. And you could put bread in here. You clean it up after you've done all your sewing, launder it in the heavy cycle, and then again, if you want to make it into a very thick basket, get that fabric stiffener. Tacky glue works really good. It's called tacky glue. And get a brush and just brush it all in there, and it'll stiffen it up really good. And then you can use it like for a fruit basket. You can put your fruit, you can put your potatoes, your apple, your bananas, or whatever you have, your bread, and whatever. I mean, there's so many uses for this. Your towels, put it in the bathroom, put your little pretty towels in there. Make big ones, make small ones. I mean, have fun. Magazine holder, I mean, the shoes, your clothing. This could be a really big one. You could make it as tall as you want, and it could be a laundry basket. I mean, have fun with what you do. So I hope you learned something. Let's get together here. Hold on. I'm in my favorite room. I just love my room. It's where I know you're probably saying, this is your bedroom. I know, but you know what? It's my room, and I have lots of fun in here because this is where I love to do my thinking. I rest. I have MS, so I need to rest, and this is where I have all the fun in my life. And I also do take my sewing machine in the dining room, but right now this is where the light comes in really nice in the morning. It's here all day. You can see how bright it is in here. Look at my glasses. You can see that the windows are open, and I have all the light coming in here, so I can see much better when I'm in here. And I don't have a lot in here. I just only take out what I need for that day, and this is what I need. I'm making my basket. Thank you for joining me. This is so fabulous. God bless you, and stay healthy, stay safe. Forget to wash your hands for 20 seconds. It doesn't take very much, and keep your family and yourself safe. Thank you for joining me. This is so fabulous.